his conclusion, of course, is extremely difficult for many people, because what he concluded was that in the way the Bible was written, the God that we know as God was actually the devil. And the devil was actually God. Well, that's a real difficult thing. But what he had suggested was, after a period of time that Satan's legions of darkness had actually stolen some of the light from God, and Monty suggested that it was Satan or the devil who created Adam and Eve. And he wanted them to be fruitful and multiply, to spread his darkness all over the earth. Of course, you have to be very adult when you get into talking about these types of things, because in the first place you have to understand that there is no Satan and there is no devil and there is no God in the text that we picture them as, people. So he's talking about this thing that you feel. I mean, you feel inside of yourself that which is good, but, then you struggle with these things that come against you and the things that have happened in your life. And, you go and you pray. Now, if you look at Monty, who are you praying to? Who's the one that's going to help you here? But, so he suggested that it was actually the powers of darkness who created Adam and Eve and tried to get them to multiply so that this darkness would be spread all over the earth. And of course, it looks like he succeeded. There's some more indications of Aquarius, which we've just experienced over this last week, when, again, for the second time, Israel and Palestine, Arafat and the Netanyahu signed this peace accord. Well, the last time that they had done this, of course, the powers of darkness, if you would, couldn't deal with it, and they assassinated the president of Israel. So I don't know what's going to happen this time, but it shows you that the power of Aquarius is still very, very, very powerful, and in fact accelerating, because now we have this other peace accord which has been signed. So Monty felt that after Satan or the devil had created Adam and Eve, there was only one possibility, one chance that the good God had to get to Adam and Eve, because otherwise the entire world would be populated with living human entities who knew only one thing, and that was this darkness, who followed only one thing, and that was the dictates of this energy, and who were basically robotized type of powers of darkness themselves. If there was some way that the good God could get to Adam and Eve before all of this was set in motion. And so Monty suggested that as Eve sat alone by herself, the serpent, who was God, the good God, came and said, Eve, you have to eat of the tree of knowledge. And you have to get Adam to eat of the tree of knowledge, or there's nothing left. There's no chance. There is no possibility that I or anybody else can do anything. Everything would be lost. Because Monty is suggesting that Satan couldn't tolerate that his subjects understand good and evil. He says there's no way. Because in order to control people, you can't allow people to ask questions. And especially if they start to understand who they are and what is the nature of that source that they're dealing with. Just don't think, just multiply, say amen, and so forth. But God, in the form of the serpent, according to Monty, told Eve that she had to eat of the tree of knowledge. She ate of the tree of knowledge, and Adam ate of the tree of knowledge. And so now they understood good and evil. They knew, basically, inside of themselves now, that there was a difference. They knew inside of themselves, they had knowledge, they had enlightenment, they had understanding of what life was about. But now Satan could no longer deal with them because they had this knowledge, and so they were expelled. People who think for themselves. So here they come into this world, and the conflict is on. The powers of light, the powers of darkness, and each one of you have been involved in that conflict.